Hi, it's Alison from Blue Cat Sewing. Today I'm going to show you how to make a lanyard. If you bought one of my patterns for an ID holder that you can find in my Etsy shop, you'll get a free pattern for a lanyard. So you get the ID holder and the lanyard. So they've got the vertical one with the pocket at the back, where you get this, the vertical one with the double window so that you can show your card either side. It's like back to back. And I do a horizontal version of that one and a horizontal version of the one with the pocket. And with all of these, you get the free lanyard pattern. So this is it. It's a breakaway lanyard, which means it's really safe. So if you get it caught on somewhere or someone gives you a pull or something, it just comes apart. And I don't like making them. In fact, I don't make them any other way. This is the way that I do them. You may also notice in my shop that I have a pen lanyard, just like this. So you can pop your pen in the loop or your glasses. So if you have two pairs of glasses and you need to swap them over, you've just got that. You can just keep it really handy there. And the loop will hold most size pens. This is like a Parker pen, but it will also fit a Sharpie. So really useful. And again, it is a breakaway one. However, I am not going to show you how to make the one with the loops because I really want you to buy the pattern. This is the way that I make my money. So, if you can download the pattern for the pen lanyard, which looks like this, you'll get instructions on how to make a lanyard, which I'm going to show you now in the tutorial, but you will also get instructions on how to get the loops on, because it took me ages to work out how to do it, and I don't just want to give it away for free. It took me a long time to work out how to do it, how to get them in the right place, how to actually attach them and sew them in. But the pattern shows you really clearly how to do it. But this is just for the simple breakaway lanyard that you get for free if you buy any of the ID holders in my shop. So here we go. I hope you enjoy it. I'll put the link here so that you can download the pattern for my Etsy store, and let's get going. You need one long narrow strip of cotton fabric, some fusible fine interfacing, and a lobster clasp and a breakaway clasp. All the measurements are on the pattern that you download, so it all depends on what width you want your lanyard to be. Just make sure that when you buy your breakaway clasp and your lanyard clasp, that they are the same width. Fold your strip of fabric in half along the length, wrong sides together, and press. And then open it out, and you're going to put the fusible interfacing right up to the fold line that you've just pressed. Place it all the way along and then fold the other half over the top and press. There you can see it's all stuck down there now. And then we need to fold each of the remaining long raw edges into the centre and press them down so that that interfacing is all enclosed there. Then once those raw edges meet in the middle and they're pressed, then you're going to fold that over and press again. So you now have 4 layers of fabric that will make it a really stable lanyard, and everything's very neat. It's important to know where the interfacing is because we're going to now pin all along the length of the lanyard, and we want to pin on the side where the interfacing is. The fabric that's got the interfacing on is a bit more stable. So when you're sewing all the way down your lanyard, which is a long way to go, you need to be on the most stable part of the fabric. Otherwise you could end up with puckering and your lanyard could be twisting and it just ends up in a bit of a mess. So pin all the way down. If you pin at right angles to the length of the lanyard, it means that you can hopefully sew over the pins. It just makes it a bit quicker. So all along the length of the lanyard, if you want to take the pins out as you go, like I just did then that's absolutely fine. You may get to a pin and you think, oh, I can sew over this one, but sometimes you're just not brave enough. It is a bit tricky, and you can see there I've got a little bit stuck. The pin's holding me up. The last thing you want is to break your needle. I'll show you at the end that I actually line up the lanyard with the number 8. I've got number 8 on my guide down there. I think it's the 1/8. And don't look at the needle, don't look at the fabric, look at the number, look at the guide that you're using, and then your stitching should be straight. This gets easier the more that you do it, but you end up just feeding the fabric through your fingers and you'll get there in the end. When you get there, just check that you have caught in all of the fabric along the other side as well, and there aren't any gaps. And then we're going to sew back down the other side of the lanyard. If you flip that over, you'll be stitching onto the interface part again. So you shouldn't end up going wrong and stitching on the other half, on the other side of the lanyard where it's a bit unstable. Here you can see I go a lot quicker because I haven't got pins to worry about, and it's just feeding through my fingers. Oh, there's a pin there that I didn't take out from before, but it glided over that one okay. There, we've done it. So I'll show you where I look at when I'm sewing. See that 1/8 there? I just have that number 8 just to the edge of the fabric, and that's what I'm looking at all the time. If I can see that number 8, I know that I'm going straight. I'm just going to trim the ends of the lanyard now to neaten it, just to make it a bit easier to feed through the clasps. So the lobster clasp goes on first, and we need to decide whereabouts that's going to be. Now, when I do my breakaway clasp, I could put it right at the centre back, which is probably the easiest way of doing it, but I just think it's going to rub the back of my neck and get a little bit annoying. So I like to place that black breakaway clasp a little bit further around. So once I've decided where my lobster clasp is going to be, I'm going to sew a straight line along there. Just make sure when you're sewing that you reverse stitch at the beginning and the end, and then it will be secure. Once that's in place, we need to decide how long we want the lanyard to be. So this is going to vary. It depends how tall you are, how long you want it hanging down. Now there's a trick to make sure that your lanyard is going to sit nicely around your body. So one end of the lanyard goes through up and through the opening in the lanyard, and the other end of the lanyard goes down through the clasp. Look carefully at what I'm doing and you'll see one goes up and one goes down. Can you see? I put some pins in just so that I can try the lanyard on for size. Once you're happy with the length of your lanyard, then trim some of the length off because we don't need all that amount. And we're going to zigzag the ends to neaten them off and stitch those down. So change your machine into a zigzag stitch, and I like to do a reverse stitch at the beginning and end of my stitching here just to make sure that it's secure. So stitch both ends with a zigzag stitch, cut off all those threads, and then change your machine back to a straight stitch. I do 2 lines of stitching here to hold down that end, one fairly close to the zigzag and one just a little bit further in. There's no precise measurements for this. It's just so that you've got 2 lines of stitching to hold that down. Do that to both ends and we're nearly done. Make sure you trim all your loose threads. It's always good to be neat and tidy. And then this is how you make the lanyard sit around your body. Break the lanyard clasp, smooth it all out so that it's straight, and then find the ends that I've got the zigzag on, match them up, one on the left, one on the right, and put the clasp back together again. And then you'll see that it curves around so that it'll curve around your neck. And that's it, we're done. I hope you enjoyed making your lanyard. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and a like. And happy sewing. I'll see you on the next one.